In this video, we will learn the essential elements of a childcare contract and how to create one. The information contained here has been prepared by Civitas Strategies and is not intended to constitute legal, tax, or financial advice. The Civitas Strategies team has used reasonable efforts in collecting, preparing, and providing this information, but does not guarantee its accuracy, completeness, adequacy, or currency. The publication and distribution of this information are not intended to create, and receipt does not constitute, an attorney-client or any other advisory relationship. Reproduction of this information is expressly prohibited. Only non-commercial uses of this work are permitted. In today's conversation, we will look at what is a family childcare contract and why it's important to your childcare business. We will also consider the things that should be included in a family childcare contract, and then look at a few examples. Let's start with what is a childcare contract. A childcare contract is a legally binding document that outlines the agreement made between a family or party responsible for payment of childcare services and the childcare business for care for the family's child or children. Childcare contracts are crucial for childcare businesses because they establish clear expectations and responsibilities for both parties. Beyond clarifying key details, this legally binding document will protect both parties in the case of a dispute. The following guide will walk you through what a childcare contract is, what it should include and why, and how to get started with creating your own. What should I include in a childcare contract? Childcare contracts can differ between childcare businesses because each provider has their own way of doing things. However, all agreements should include basic information about the family, child or children, and childcare business, as well as an outline of the services provided and responsibilities of both parties, such as names and contact information of the childcare business, names and contact information for the family, names and contact information for the party responsible for payment, if different than family, name, and birth date of the child being cared for, hours of care, and any restrictions or limitations on care, for example, certain days of the week, maximum number of hours per day, names of any other fees charged, how they are incurred, and when due, for example, late payment fee, late pickup fee, tuition amounts, payment types accepted, and payment schedule, for example, weekly or monthly, termination procedure, and signatures of family members and or party responsible for payment, and the childcare business. Why is this basic information important to a childcare contract? In order for a document to be considered a contract, it must contain the elements mentioned. Consider why these parts are important over the next few slides. Names and contact information of the childcare business and family and or party responsible for payment. For this document to serve as a legally binding contract, and it is if written correctly, it must include information between the two parties entering into the contract. In this instance, the family members responsible for enrolling and paying for the childcare services and the childcare business. Notice we said, family members responsible. In some cases, this could be both parents or one parent and or guardian. In other cases, this could mean a grandparent, family member, guardian, or foster parent. Name and birth date of the child or children. While the family is entering an agreement with the business, the contract centers around the care of a child. Listing the child's name and birth date, or children's names and birth dates, ensures that the contract is covering the care of the specific children mentioned. Hours of care and any restrictions or limitations on care. List the hours of care in the agreement, the days of the week, the date when care will begin and end, and any specific dates that care is not provided. For example, if your childcare business is open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, then you will list that specificity. If your childcare business is closed the day after Thanksgiving, then list that information here. By clearly stating your business hours of operation, families know when they can leave their child and when they must pick up their child. If you choose to arrange different hours of care with a specific family, then you must explicitly state that in the agreement as well. For example, you may be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., but for this specific family, their window of care may be 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. This should be differentiated if needed, as it impacts when other fees like late pickup fees may be incurred. Tuition and payment schedule. Just as other businesses list terms of payment in their contracts, so should a family childcare contract. Clearly state when payment is due and the acceptable forms of payment. We highly suggest including two clauses on the following topics in this section of the contract. Advance payment for care. Example, the family will pay for 1 week of care in advance. By having families pay for care in advance, they then pay for the service before it is used. This ensures you can pay the costs incurred by caring for their child or children. When childcare businesses allow families to pay after the care is provided, the business runs the risk of not being paid for services. Establishing this practice right from the start builds the business stability. Advance payment for end of contract. Example, the family will pay for the last 2 weeks upon signing this contract. This amount is non-refundable and is not contingent on if the family gives written notice. A standard practice is to ask families for a 2-week notice before ending the care arrangement. This allows time for the childcare business to find a replacement family to fill the vacancy. However, sometimes families do not give that 2-week notice, and other times the business may need to end the care arrangement more quickly. By requesting payment upon signature for 2 weeks or whatever timeframe makes the most sense for your business, you can more easily sustain a sudden vacancy until another family can take the place. Termination procedure. Every contract must describe how the contract will end. The contract should explicitly state how the family should end the contract and describe how you will end the contract. Include language that you may end the contract at will, which allows you the flexibility to terminate the contract when, or if you need to do so. Signatures of family members and the childcare business. It's recommended that family members sign the contract, enter a clause that indicates by their signature they are agreeing to the terms of the contract, and include a statement that states they have read the family handbook and agree to follow the childcare business's policies. This signature should be dated and then signed by the childcare business after the family member is signed. Signatures underneath the part of the contract that says they agree, also known as the attestation, to enable the contract to become binding. Need help? You can find examples of childcare contracts on the internet, or you can start with the following template. This template is also available in the guide that accompanies this tool. Note: this contract template serves as a general guide. It is essential to consult with a legal professional to ensure compliance with local laws and regulations. Check with your local childcare licensor before finalizing your agreement, because some state childcare licensing regulations specify what should be in your contract. Over the next few slides, we will review an example of a childcare contract template. Family member's name and family member's name, the parents or legal guardians of child's name, and the name of your business, the childcare business. Make and enter into this childcare family contract on this date, the of signing the contract. To be completed by childcare business information, full name, address, phone number, email, terms of payment, fee per hour, day, week, and month. Payment for services is expected in advance. The date the payments are due, fee for late payments, payment options, pay schedule if needed, types of payments accepted. The family will pay for the last 2 weeks upon signing this contract, as well as the services offered, operating hours, including days of the week, start time, time of completion, and any holidays and vacation closures, as well as sick or weather closure policies. The contracted times and days, and the date service to begin. The family will complete the next section or be completed by parents, guardians, or family members of child, the child's full name and date of birth. Both parents or legal guardians' information, as well as any additional contacts information, including full name, address, phone number, and email. In this section, you may want to include additional information specific to the arrangement with the family. Such information could include additional fees, insurance coverage, rate change notice, etc. The termination policy will outline as follows. Either party may terminate this contract with written notice of how many days. The childcare business may terminate this contract at will. Please review the above information carefully and ensure its accuracy. Once both parties have signed and dated this contract, it shall be considered legally binding. By signing this contract, I indicate that I have read the family handbook and agree to follow the childcare business policies. Be sure to have designated spaces for the parent or legal guardian and child care provider signatures and date. Don't see what you're looking for, have a question related to Mainspring resources, or need additional support? Sign into your membership portal and click on Help Desk. If you're not a member of Mainspring Early Care Alliance, click here to learn more at mainspringalliance.org. And be sure to visit the Civitas Strategies YouTube channel for more valuable resources to support you and your business.